I see the crystal raindrops fall and the beauty of it all when the sun comes shining through to make those rainbows in my mind when I think of you. Hi, how are you? I'm Tanika. Thanks for joining. I wanted to share my story with you. It's a story about loss, but it's also a story about hope and strength and courage. So thanks for joining, and I hope you enjoy the story. Disclaimer: if you are squeamish in the slightest, probably not the story for you. We're going to talk about blood, vaginas, cervixes, cervical mucus, all the fun stuff that you probably fell asleep during class in, like, I don't know, what it's sixth grade, sex ed? I don't remember. But yeah, it's that kind of story. So first of all, went in this year in March for like regular plain old pap smear and thought everything would be okay. Came back, it was abnormal, so I had to go back in. They wanted to do a colposcopy, and so I had to go back in for that. Sent that off to the lab, and the doctor recommended. So eventually, that part came out fine. So I just want to say that, like, I don't have cancer. Uh, she thought I had precancer cells. I didn't. Everything's fine there. But then the doctor thought, oh, well, you should have an HPV shot. And I'd never had one before. So she had me come back on March 31st for that shot. And at that point, she said, well, you have not had your period yet. And it was like maybe 2 weeks late or maybe 3 weeks late. I don't remember. But so you can't have this shot if you're pregnant because it's contraindicated. So I was like, well, there's no way I'm pregnant, so go ahead and give me the shot. And she said, I can't, ethically, so I've got to take your, I've got to give you a blood test to see if you're pregnant or not. So I thought it was silly, but, she's a doctor, so we did that. Anyway, long story short, turns out I'm pregnant, which I should have figured out because all the signs were there. I already have a daughter. She's 23 now, so it was a long, long time ago. But definitely had like swollen boobs, was using the bathroom a lot, was having vivid dreams. I had been taking Chantix because I was a smoker, and so I had stopped maybe a month before, and I thought the vivid dreams had something to do with the Chantix. So anyway, ended up losing the baby at 10 weeks, and so that was like pretty hard. So I went from this feeling of like not possible that I was pregnant to being pregnant to not wanting to be pregnant to then like seeing the ultrasound and totally rooting for this little person, and then it all being gone. And so that happened. March 31st is when I had the first blood test, and then by April 24th I had the miscarriage. And so it was pretty devastating. But then I thought, well, now that I know that I can get pregnant, and I had to do all this soul searching when I found out that I was about would I want to have another kid, and the answer had been yes. So I decided to give it a go, intentionally and see if it could happen. And so that was probably in May, the end of May, that I came to that realization and started trying in earnest. And I had to read a lot of stuff. It's not as easy as one would think to get pregnant. So again, back to sixth grade sex ed, where they make it sound like if a boy breathes on you too hard that you'll get pregnant. Not so much. Not so much, especially when you're older. Who knew there were only like 6 days out of your cycle that you could get pregnant? I had no idea. Maybe, because I'm an idiot or just because I hadn't really focused on it in 23 years. But so part of this is therapy for me because I get to like tell you about my journey. I'm currently in my 2 week wait. And so this activity is keeping me from losing my mind. And then part of it is information sharing because I did a lot of searching on YouTube, and there were other people who were TTCing, trying to conceive. So I'd like searched for their stories and found hope and inspiration on things they had done, like eating pineapple core for implantation and drinking pomegranate juice and antioxidants. So we'll go through all of that as the story unfolds. It'll be more than just today. I just wanted to kind of give you an introduction of who I am and kind of what my journey has been. So since then, I've gone to a fertility specialist here in New York. I live in New York. I am originally from California, but I've been in New York for 9 years. So have been going to a fertility specialist. So I'll tell you a little bit about that. The treatments that I've been taking and like the changes that I made as far as diet and the books that I read and this kind of crazy roller coaster journey that I'm on. I have about another week before I can test. Although I've kind of cheated, so have been a little bit of a POAS addict, pee on a stick addict, and I had to do an HCG trigger shot, and so I decided that I would test it out, meaning keep testing until I get like a negative. So I have been technically taking pregnancy tests every day, even though it's the reverse of like seeing the line get fainter, um, and not. Oh, my monitor went to sleep. There, I'm back. Of seeing, so technically I've been taking the pregnancy test, but in reverse because I wanted to see the line get fainter so that I would know for sure it's out. So then today I got a completely blank test. I took two different kinds, and I'll show you later some tests and some other things of like in the TTC kit. But so now if I get a line, I'm pregnant. I've been successful. So that's it. That's kind of, how I got to here. And this vlog is going to be about my journey and hopefully my journey to motherhood. Like that's the end goal, to motherhood a second time around. And everyone has kind of been like, why would you, after all these years, want to go at it again? And again, when I was pregnant before, unexpectedly, I had to do a lot of soul searching. And I think I would be an amazing mom again, but different. I'm older. Obviously have more resources and have more patience. And I just think um, it would be nice to share that with someone else and to help bring up someone else into this world and kind of shepherd them on their journey. I do feel like when we become parents, like we meet our children when they're born, like we meet them officially, but they also choose us, right? And so I'm curious to see who chooses me this time and how I get to shepherd them through this crazy thing we call, life. So yeah, so thank you for joining. And I'm probably super chatty right now because I'm anxious again, being in the 2 week wait, and I will try to share as much as I can. Please, if you have any questions, comments, leave them below. I would love to hear from you so that I'm not just talking to myself. Or if you have your own journey that you want to share or words of encouragement, you've been there, done that, please share that as well. Some blogs that I've watched that have inspired me have been Follow the Hills, the Grimwade family, and the Two Mom Crew. So those have been cool. So hopefully I can inspire someone. You can inspire me and, share your story and go kind of on this journey with me, and help keep me a little bit sane. There's a lot of nerves involved and a lot of like anxiousness throughout this. So it's been a couple of months and I've made a lot of changes, which I'll talk about in some other videos. But I just wanted to introduce myself and kind of give you a backstory on who I am and why I'm vlogging. And yeah, I'm pleased to meet you. And I hope you will tell me more about yourself in the comments. And I look forward to seeing you soon. All right.